Jody, it's been a bit of a wait to get your reaction, but welcome to Billericay Town. How does it feel to be appointed as first team manager?
First of all, really happy to be appointed. It's a club that, from the outside, I've admired for a while now. On and off the field, it's been developing over recent years, so it's an exciting opportunity for me. And yeah, it's also been a wait for me to get involved with the players and meet all you guys. So I'm glad we're finally here. Glad we're moving forward with it and ready to take it forward.
What about the club made you put your name forward?
Like I just said, really, the progression in the last 3 or 4 seasons. I've been here as part of the staff of visiting teams, seen the growth of the ground, the facility, the training facilities. I've spoken to people involved with the club at various times over the last few years, heard about the development of the youth setup, the ladies, and I just think it's a football club, given all of that, has got the potential to really grow, and I'd love to be able to grow together with the club.
You were there at the Dulwich Hamlet game as Dan Brown took charge and got our first win of the league season. What was it like watching the match, and what did you learn about the squad?
First of all, it was a brilliant day, given that there was 3,500 people there. What I learnt about the squad was that they've got tremendous character, because it was a tough game. They had some real suffering within the game, where they were backs against the wall, had to work very hard for one another, but at the same time they were clinical when we managed to counter-attack and break, and they took the goal as well. So as an incoming manager and a staff, we sort of watched it and felt that, not that it's a false league position, because results don't really lie, not when it's over that sort of time, but that there was plenty to work there. There was a good platform there, and Dan and Ash had done a brilliant job in preparing them during the week, and Ash's enthusiasm on the sideline was brilliant, because I was sat just above that. He was driving the team on. I'd spoke to Danny Brown the night before, so I knew preparing the game, and I was really happy with the preparation that had gone into it, and I'm glad that they were rewarded with the points. I've been a caretaker manager before. It's a tough situation to go into. You've got players that aren't really sure whether they're coming or going for the future, so they did brilliant as caretakers, and I'm really grateful for that. And obviously having 4 points is a lot better than having 1 point.
For those who aren't aware, what is your background in management?
I've been working in football for a long time now. I started in Step 5 years ago when I was in my early 20s as a manager. Had relative success, moved up the pyramid quite quickly, got into the Ryman League, what is now the Bostik, I believe. Got a move from Grays Athletic in the Isthmian Premier League to Welling United in the National League. Didn't go too well for me, but great learning experience. I was young and I was naive. Went back to Heybridge Swifts, a club that I'd been at before. Heybridge were in a really difficult predicament. We worked really hard over a 2.5-year spell, rebuilt the club on and off the field with the help of many other people. Had great success there. Felt that my time had come to an end in terms of how far I could take that particular club. I went to Dagenham and Redbridge to work under Peter Taylor, who's recently gone in as Welling United manager. He's a massively experienced man, and to have 18 months working with him full time every day only added to me as a football coach. Took a lot from that experience. Also in the background of all of that, I've been an academy coach at Colchester United and Norwich City. So yeah, I've got fairly sort of rounded experiences. Learned from the bad times. I've gone into clubs in relegation battles 3 or 4 different times. I've gone in there, and we've always managed to stay up. So I've learned a lot from those experiences. I think you learn a lot from the tough times more than you learn from winning. Winning becomes quite easy when you're doing it. So yeah, that's my background. This is a great opportunity for me, and like I say, it's a club that I believe is on the up, and I hope that we can all grow together.
What is the Jody Brown style of football, and how can the fans expect us to play under your management?
without going into sort of systems and stuff like that, my basic philosophy is that where possible we would press and try and get the ball back quickly. In terms of in possession, I always want players to be comfortable. I want my teams, it's a process, it's not going to happen overnight, but I want my teams to dominate possession. Certainly my attacking players, I want them to be fairly fluid, to be able to interchange. I like trying to create overloads in certain areas of the pitch, so after we've assessed our opponents, we'll look where we think we can exploit them, and we'll try and create overloads in those positions. And to be honest, to be organised, but to also let players express themselves. I think it's important that players aren't playing within themselves. It's important that players aren't playing with a fear of the manager's tactical information or disciplinary information. I want them to play with a degree of freedom, but I realise that's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. So in the initial instance, we'll be looking to build on the platform left by the previous manager and by Danny and Ash on Saturday.
Tonight will be your first training session. What will you be working on with the squad?
Again, that to continue the platform that's been left for us. Was pleasantly surprised by how hard the boys worked on Saturday to get that result. I don't think it would be sensible to come in here, take a couple of sessions and try and reinvent the wheel and change everything tactically. So there's not going to be massive changes. So I'll put my sort of footprint on that, of how I think we should play within those principles that we saw on Saturday. That will be sort of re-emphasised in training tonight, but also in training tonight it's important for me to see people on the ball, see people in their environment, and it's very easy to come here with predetermined opinions of players, but you never really know how good or bad a player is until you actually get to know them and work with them at close quarters. So tonight will be a good chance for me to look at people, talk to people, but also to, as I say, to re-emphasise the values and the principles that were implemented by the caretakers and the previous manager before the Dulwich game.
Can we expect to see any immediate changes or additions to the squad?
Yeah, working on things. Obviously I'm not going to sort of give any information on that in terms of names, positions, anything like that, but yeah, we're working on things. We've identified areas where we think the squad can be strengthened. We've also identified areas where we think the squad's very strong. So yeah, we are working at bringing people in over the coming days.
We're 7 games into the league season and second from bottom with only 4 points. Not an ideal situation, so what is the plan going forward?
The plan is to get the very best out of the group that are here. I've watched the games. I've been fortunate enough to see Billericay live 3 times this season, as well as watch the highlights in recent days. I think there's plenty there to work with. I don't know why things weren't going well for Kevin and Mark in terms of results, but I actually saw some of the games and thought they played well. I think the margins were fine. I think they were a little bit unlucky with the fact that they never had 2 strikers fit at the same time. So going forward, I reiterate, not going to come in there, rip it all up and start again. I think that would be naive. I don't think it needs that, but I'll try and put my own twist on it, my own personality, my own principles. Maybe add 1 or 2 players, maybe tweak a couple of things, but I don't think they were doing an awful job. I think they were particularly unlucky, and I think that they've left a decent platform, a decent squad, a great opportunity for us, and I hope and I believe that we're very determined people, me and the other staff, and we'll get more out of the group than what we've currently seen, and as I say, we'll add to it and hopefully start climbing that table.
The first test as Billericay Town manager will be here against Slough Town on Saturday. What are your thoughts going into that match?
First of all, it's brilliant to start at home. I know I was announced before the Dulwich game, but obviously I wasn't in the dugout. I hope we get a warm welcome. I don't see any reason why we won't. I hope they get behind the players. I've watched Slough. I've spoke to some people at Ebbsfleet as well who played them on Saturday. So I'm very clear about what I expect Slough to bring and how best I think we can approach that. But what I'm really hoping for is to build on Saturday. So I saw a huge character Saturday, tremendous work ethic on Saturday, but I'd like us to have a little bit more control of the game. I thought that Dulwich had a huge control of the game in terms of possession and territory. If we could retain all that character, all that work ethic and all that togetherness that I saw on Saturday, and just get a little bit more control of possession, be a little bit more positive when we've got the ball, have a little bit more belief when we've got the ball, then I think we'll be in a good position to play Slough.
There was a great reaction to your announcement last week. What message would you like to give to the fans?
First of all, thanks for the reaction. It's always nice to get a positive reaction. It's not always the way in football. I and my staff, as I just said a moment ago, we're very determined to do well. We haven't come here for an easy ride. We certainly wouldn't want to come in at a side that's bottom of the table. So we know the challenge ahead, but we also know the great potential that is here. James Robinson has played for Billericay, previously speaks very highly of the fan base. I've come here as an opposition manager and coach, and I know what it can be like when the team's doing well. So really hoping to give them a successful team, a hard-working team, an attractive playing style eventually, and work together as an entire football club. So it's not just about us, it's about all you guys, all the support staff around the football club, and of course the fans, because the fans can give us the extra edge, and without fans then it's a waste of time having a football club. So thanks for the reaction, thanks for the welcome, but now let's all work together and drive this football club up to where it wants to be.